Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog. Thank you so much for joining us for this session today on YouTube Live. We have with us a great panel of exemplary teachers of change today. And our topic for this panel discussion today is how does MyATL Dashboard, how you can leverage that, how does it enable you to really reap the benefits of an ATL, and how can you really monitor your outcomes, innovation-linked outcomes from the ATL labs in your schools. We have with us today Dr. Dhananjay Pandey, who's the ETOC from Chhattisgarh. He's from Government Multipurpose Higher Secondary School, Bilaspur. Hello, Dr. Dhananjay. Thank you for joining us today. We have Ms. Jamuna joining us today, who's the ETOC for Puducherry. She is from Thatai Periyar Government Girls Higher Secondary School. We have Mr. Ivan Dorji, who's also an ETOC from Sikkim, and he joins us from Namgyai Girls School. We have Ms. Medhavi, who's an ETOC from Uttar Pradesh, and she's from Seth Anandram Jaipuria School. Thank you so much, all of you, for participating in this panel discussion and for joining us today. Today's topic is indeed an important one for all of us. Thank you. It's an important one for all of us because MyATL Dashboard, as you can see from the name, it is how you monitor the outcomes from your ATL labs. It's not only an important compliance and monitoring mechanism for us at Niti Aayog and for Atal Innovation Mission, but it's also very important for you to really see how you're performing and how your school is performing in terms of its ATL activity. Sorry, can you put yourself on mute? Thank you. Yeah, so like I was saying, that it's not only an important compliance-related requirement, it is also an important way for you to see how your school is performing in terms of its ATL-related, innovation-related projects and activities. Now, as we move from, at a stage where we have more than 7,000 ATLs established across the country, it becomes even more critical for the schools to report and monitor their progress on the dashboard. This is a single source of truth for us where we are able to see how the school is progressing. And not just that it's an important compliance-related activity, it is also a way for you to be recognized because every month there are top schools which are identified and you can be one of the school of the month from your region. Now this comes through the dashboard itself. You need to, of course, participate and have activities within your school. There are multiple criteria, and in this session, we'll be sharing and discussing some of those on how your school can actually feature in the School of the Month and what makes these schools really go to the top ranking schools when it comes to MyATL Dashboard. And how can we learn from some of the experiences that we have from the exemplary teachers of change, our ETOCs that are present with us today in this session, with them being amongst the top schools and them leading the way for that, them being the torchbearers for their schools in terms of top rankings, as well as a lot of activities and initiatives and participation from their schools. We can all learn and, they would be happy to share their experiences with us, and it would be great for the entire community to know more from all of you. With that, I'd like to start the session and the discussion with all our panelists here today. And I would also like to highlight before we move forward that what you put into the MyATL dashboard, it's not just about numbers. It is also about the quality and the type of outputs that you are generating out of the ATL labs. Hence, what you'll see and what we'll discuss about the ATL dashboard and with each of the exemplary teachers of change who are present with us today, you'll see that, it is not just the numbers, but it is also in terms of what they've really achieved. They've been able to get outcomes, true outcomes, by be it the marathon participation, be it them being amongst the top teams within the various ATL challenges that we run. So everything links together and it flows together. So it starts with your school being established as an ATL. Then it moves on to participation. So you participate in the various activities and events that are hosted by ATL team, but also at your own school level, you could conduct a lot of events and seminars and encourage your students to participate and create innovation projects. But how does this come together? What you create, you should actually put it into the MyATL dashboard. So what you're doing should also reflect in your MyATL dashboard, and hence it's so important for the entire chain of activities to happen, right from establishment to the participation and involvement, and then to actually report it out. That completes the circle, and you will see outcomes coming out of it when you do these three. And our 4 exemplary teachers of change present with us today are great examples of that, and their schools are great examples of that. Their students are great examples of that, of how when you do these 3 things, how can you really get the true outcomes and benefits of an ATL lab. Okay, so with that, I'll start with Dr. Dhananjay. Dr. Dhananjay, your school has been active in all ATL activities and challenges and the events that are held. The school has also been consistently featuring in the ATL of the Month list announced by AIM every month, right from 2019. What, according to you, are some of the best practices that can be adopted by fellow ATL in charges to feature in the top schools list? And we get a lot of those questions. So share your thoughts and your experience with us on what leads you to that. Over to you, Dr. Dhananjay. You're on mute, Dr. Dhananjay. If you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, madam. Thanks first of all for giving such an opportunities and bringing our school in a platform like this we never assumed. So thank Atal Innovation Mission for this motivational approach. मैडम सबसे बड़ी बात है क्या स्कूल मंथ के किसी भी रिजल्ट्स में नाम आना पर्याप्त है? मैं समझता हूँ नहीं, हम अपना केवल काम करते हैं। और देखिए 2 एग्जांपल्स मैं दे रहा हूँ हमारे लैब के बारे में। सबसे पहले जब लैब स्टार्ट हुआ था 2017 में, तब मुझे बच्चों को बोलना पड़ता था कि आप आइए, आप लैब में आइए। आज मेरे को बोलना पड़ता था कि आप जाइए। ये 2 चीजें अभी आप देखेंगे पूरे लैब में हमारे करीब 40 स्टूडेंट्स अभी काम कर रहे हैं और ये रात को 10 बजे तक काम करते थे। इसका मतलब यह है कि उन बच्चों में इंटरेस्ट आया है। एज ए टीचर जो एटीएल टीचर है उनका सबसे बड़ी काम होता है कि बच्चों में जील और इंटरेस्ट भर दीजिए और कुछ नहीं। अब इन बच्चों में इंटरेस्ट आया और ये बच्चे काम कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पर कंटिन्यूस काम करते हैं, तो सोसाइटी मोटिवेट हुई और सोसाइटी हमारे लैब से डायरेक्ट इन्वॉल्व हुई। अब सोसाइटी इन्वॉल्व हुई तो यहाँ के जो टॉप मोस्ट प्रोफेसर्स हैं वो हमारे कॉलेज से इन्वॉल्व हुए और हम लोगों ने उन्हें मेंटर नियुक्त किया और ये मान के चलिए कि करीब 7 to 8 मेंटर्स जो इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के टॉप मोस्ट हैं वो हमारे लैब से जुड़े हैं। सभी मेंटर्स पर मंथ 2 सेशंस लेते हैं, चाहे वर्कशॉप लें चाहे सेमिनार्स लें। कुछ बच्चे को वो लाते हैं, कुछ हमारे बच्चे रहते हैं और ये हमारा पूरा पैक रहता है। तब क्या होता है कि मंथ एंड में हमारे पास 15-20 वर्कशॉप हो जाते हैं, स्टूडेंट्स की एक टीम हो जाती है और हर मंथ में हम सब जब मिलकर काम करते हैं तो 3-4-5 प्रोजेक्ट्स, इनोवेटिव प्रोजेक्ट आ जाते हैं। ये हमारे लिए पर्याप्त होता है। तो मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, बस इन बच्चों में एक इंटरेस्ट जगाया। अब ये इंटरेस्ट पैदा किया और आप पीछे देख रहे होंगे सभी बच्चे भी बैठे हुए हैं। तो एक एटीएल टीचर्स को कुछ करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, बच्चों में एक जील और एक इंटरेस्ट कर दीजिए ताकि वो अपनी सोसाइटी प्रॉब्लम्स को हैंडल कर सके।
That's Dr. Like you rightly said, it's not actually information or numbers. It is about how do you instill that mindset, and that will automatically lead to outcomes and numbers when you instill that mindset. बिल्कुल आपने बहुत ही बढ़िया बात बोली। उस पे से मैं आपसे एक और बात पूछना चाहती हूँ। आपके स्कूल से 3 टीम्स 2019 में टॉप 150 ऑफ द ATL मैराथन थी। Can you share your experience? How did that help you? Participation in such events. How did it help you? Now I will not ask you top school of the month position, but how did it help you in instilling that innovation mindset even further, which in a way reflects in the dashboard also in your top scores? You're on mute, Dr. Dhananjay again.
हाँ देखिए मैडम, जहाँ तक मैराथन की बात है, हाँ हम इंतजार करते हैं मैराथन के लिए, लेकिन मैराथन में पार्टिसिपेशन के लिए इंतजार करते हैं। 2017 में भी हम टॉप में रहे, 2018 में हमारे 3 प्रोजेक्ट जो है टॉप 50 में रहे, 2019 में 3 प्रोजेक्ट्स हमारे रहे हैं और टॉप 20 में भी हम फीचर किए हुए हैं। तो मैराथन हमको सब कुछ दिया है और सबसे बड़ी बात दिया है कन्विक्शन ऑफ लाइफ। इससे हमको क्या हुआ है कि हमको एक एम मिला, एक बातें करने की बातें मिली और एक नज़रिया मिला। और उन नज़रियों से क्या हुआ है कि जब सोसाइटी हमसे जुड़ी तो हमको टेक्निकल असिस्टेंट प्रोवाइड की, मॉनिटरी असिस्टेंट प्रोवाइड करी। हमारे उसका नतीजा ये हुआ कि जब हम पहले 2016 और 17 को देखते हैं, उस समय हमारे प्रोजेक्ट क्या थे और वो प्रोजेक्ट रिफाइन होते-होते आज इस कदर में पहुँची है। 2018 में हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स एग्रीटेक सेक्टर में ऑल इंडिया फर्स्ट आए थे और हमको एम ने मौका दिया प्रेसिडेंट के सामने अपने इनोवेशन प्रेजेंट करने के लिए एंड दैट वाज अ फैबुलस मोमेंट। और हम समझते हैं कि दिस इज वाज द मोमेंट व्हिच वी नेवर एक्सपेक्टेड फ्रॉम द लाइफ। हम अपने लाइफ से भी एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किए थे कि ये ऐसा मोमेंट हमको आएगा। और ये किसके लिए हुआ? केवल मैराथन के लिए हुआ। उससे भी बढ़कर क्या बातें हुई हैं कि हमारे जो प्रोजेक्ट है अटल कृषि मित्र वो पेटेंट की ओर चले गया। उससे भी बड़ी बात क्या हो गई, पीछे देखोगे अब फर्स्ट कॉपी हमको मिल गई और कमर्शियल वाइबल प्रोडक्ट डिक्लेयर किया गया, कमर्शियल में आ रहा है। ये किसके लिए हुआ है? मैराथन के लिए हुआ है। तो मैराथन आप पार्टिसिपेट करें, ये ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है और अपने आइडियाज़ को लीजिए। हाँ, ये बस ध्यान दीजिए कि आपके आइडियाज़ लैब से ना आए, वो कम्युनिटी में जा कर के आएँ। आप ज़रूर आगे बढ़ेंगे और मैराथन तो एक हमारे लिए हम पूरे साल भर इंतज़ार करते हैं मैराथन के लिए और अभी भी हम मैराथन की बातें कर रहे हैं।
It's wonderful, Dr. It clearly reflects in the results of your school that you don't work for results, you work towards solving community problems, towards instilling an innovation mindset. And I'm so happy that we have exemplary teachers of change like all of you who are actually instilling that mindset, because we can only give labs, and the real onus and the real people who are helping us achieve this are you all as teachers of change for us. So thank you for that. Miss Jamuna, my next question is for you. You've been an exemplary teacher of change twice, and we've had two, so to say, twice we published the exemplary teachers of change, and you've been in both of them. Yes, and you've been in both of them. So you've been a consistent exemplary teacher of change. Can you share some tips and tricks with the other teachers in terms of ATL in charges, in terms of what they can do to really be consistently amongst the top and be an exemplary teacher of change? Miss Jamuna, your voice is cracking. Maybe you want to yeah, you want to stop your video, maybe then it will be better.
I'm already.
No, it's not audible yet. You try again. Maybe it's better now. Yes, it is. It is. Please go ahead, Ms. Jamuna.
Video? Is it okay?
Yes, yes, it's okay now.
Is it okay?
Yes, yes, please go ahead, Ms.
I'm
Jamuna. It's
expressing
okay.
Okay. I'm expressing thanks for having selected me as it's my pleasure that our school has been ATL of the month since August 2019. I'm happy to share my experience with the students behind it. As a former Abdul Kalam said, dream is not in sleep. Dream is something not let you sleep. As per course, who are future citizens of the society, I dedicate myself for the students. MyATL Innovation Mission helped me personally and actively with this. Initially, we were even during some days by the about 3D printer, hornbill kit, and the use of components, sensors, etc. Thereafter, it was a full curriculum. So itself, and the regular classes were conducted to the students and made them to learn more about it. In addition to that, we have arranged some of the and conduct more classes programming. Further, based on these things, the students were allowed to participate in the regional and several awards last year. Apart, Innovation Mission has given an opportunity to our students to treat, which leads to new innovations to live in this technological world. At least during the pandemic and made a success, avoiding in search of mentors for our students. So the students may use these sessions and use their time fruitfully in new innovations and develop their own skills. All online classes.
We've lost you, Ms. Jamuna. Okay, maybe because of network issues, she did mention a very good thing in terms of mentors being involved in this. So another very important point that yes, you are guiding your school, but seek help. There is more help available for you. There is a whole network of other exemplary teachers of change, other regional teachers of change, regional mentors are there, and mentors are there for each school. So leverage that network, take initiative in terms of organizing seminars within your school, and in fact, invite the schools within your community, and take that initiative in terms of creating that awareness. So that's a great point, Ms. Jamuna. We lost your voice in between, but this is what I recollected, and that's a great sharing and a great tip for other schools and other ATL in charges, that use your network, which is being made available to you. Use the resources that are available to you on the AIM platform and website. A lot of learning resources are available, and even the mentors as a community are available for supporting you further. So thank you for sharing that. You lost your voice in between. Did you have anything else to add, Ms. Jamuna?
Regarding the dashboard, actually, we are maintaining a record for the students' attendance and also the lab activities. And we are, since it's a simple thing, initially we have to do something. That is in a dashboard. We will be filling up all the details regarding this school particulars and also the it will take some time. Afterwards, it will be very easy to follow. Filling the dashboard is very easy, and we are doing it every month and made a success in a month is August. Operators, and our director of education and joint director, our school principal, administrators, and our colleagues in our school also, and our students and our family members. And I thank this opportunity to an exemplary teacher of change and 8 year of the since 2019. That is, have done our innovation since August 2019. Till that, we are doing this. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Now, this was something I wanted to ask you, and you've very nicely touched upon it yourself, in terms of how easy or difficult is it to fill the ATL dashboard, because that is, of course, how we are able to see the performance of a school, and that's what leads you to becoming an exemplary teacher of change when your school has been consistently filling up the dashboard and is also amongst the top ranking schools on the dashboard. So with that, with that input that you shared, that it's easy. It could be the first time that could be a bit, time taking, or it could be something not so easy for the first time. Having said that, that's all basic information and details that you need. Should be at the tip of your fingers for your respective schools. But other than that, every month, it's a simple activity, you said, in terms of filling the dashboard. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Jamuna. That was great sharing for all the other schools to know what your school has been doing and what you have been doing as an exemplary teacher of change. Thank you so much for that. With that, I will move on to Mr. Ivan. Mr. Ivan, the year 2020 was a rough one, and despite all that, the pandemic challenges, your school has been adjudged as the ATL of the month many times in the Northeast region. Your school has regularly recorded and included the Think from Home sessions and activities being conducted at your school in the an experience of this on how to continue to keep your students motivated and that mindset, and then also report it out on the dashboard.
Okay, thank you so much for this session. I think this session was extremely needed for many schools, so that they could also follow up with all the ways in which we can leverage our school and also open up more opportunities for our children. And before answering the questions that you have asked me, I would first like to thank the Government of India, the ATL Innovation Mission, for setting up such beautiful labs in almost all nook and corner of the country. It was a very welcome opportunity for us, because such a lab was my personal dream. And when your dream comes true without having to pay any money, then that would be the best thing that can happen to your life. So having said that, Madam asked me about how we also use the pandemic time, which was a challenge for almost all of us. But I think along with being a challenge, the pandemic time was also an opportunity for us to explore different ways that we can continue our learning. We explored many alternative learning sources online, and most importantly, the top of our list was the learning modules that was put up in the AIM website. And talking about the ATL of the month, uh, all the way from 2017, 18, and 19, when the ATL of the month used to be an annual competition, I was able to encourage my children to participate, and we were winners in 2017, 18, and 19 when they were annual competitions. And I think from the end of 2019 onwards, it became a monthly event. And so I didn't want to break our record, so I ensured that I filled the dashboard every month on time. I think the most important thing we should keep in mind while filling the dashboard is Mm, the most important step is to fill it, right? So we just update the dashboard. It's like recording our marks. Like, we are teachers, we record marks and we record the attributes of our students. So it's like we are recording all the attributes and the scores of the ATL, which is supposed to be our babies. Okay. And then, so if we regularly update it and we just fill it, and we don't worry about the numbers, because there were times when maybe due to other engagements we could not do many activities, but then I did not hesitate to enter low numbers, right? So the important thing is just update it, because in science we follow a very important rule, like a negative result is also a result. So we just be sincere to whatever we have done, and then just update uh, our dashboard, and then don't worry about winning, just like Dr. Dhananjay told. We just fill it and then wait for the results, and if things go well for us, of course, uh, you can also become the ATL of the month in your area. Then, if I'm not mistaken, Madam talked about the Tinker from Home sessions. I think this Tinker from Home sessions was really a great initiative of the ATL Innovation Mission, because a lot of learning modules were launched in the AIM website, the AI module, the AI Step Up module, the game development module, the app development module. And I think the CSIR webinars, which were also encouraged to participate, they helped a lot to children to connect what they are learning in the books with what is actually going on in the research field in the real world. So I also ensure that our children take full advantage of these modules, and then whatever be their capacity, whichever area they are in, and build projects. Maybe mostly they are in the form of apps and online learning modules. And in the process, I would like to share that we also won, we were also in the winning list of the app development module. That was a competition of the ATL Innovation Mission. So that has been our journey last year, and we are still continuing our good work.
Excellent, Mr. Ivan. I think I completely resonate with what you said, that don't worry about the numbers. And I would like to reiterate that again. We have exemplary teachers of change with us today who've been amongst the top ranking schools on the dashboard. But having said that, it doesn't matter if you're top ranking or not. What matters is that there is some initiation. What matters is you're doing something on the lines of innovation and taking the whole agenda forward. You're aligned to creating innovation ecosystem in the country, and you are recording that. So it's such an important thing that irrespective of numbers, you are recording what you've done. And like you rightly said, in science, numbers and recording and results is an important thing. It doesn't matter what the result is. So thank you so much. That's a great input to all the schools, and I completely resonate with that. Mr. Ivan, on that, I would like to also ask you that you have been one of the 8 selected teachers to participate in AIM Series program in 2020, which was a virtual bilateral collaboration between India and Russia student exchange collaboration program. How was your experience, and do you think that participation and various other things that you and the students of your school and the school have achieved has some linkage to constantly doing these initiatives, activities, and innovation projects in your school, which eventually get recorded, and then the outcome is that you are one of the 8 selected teachers in the AIM Series program? So share some thoughts with us on that.
Yes, of course. Although our focus have been children, and yes, as a teacher, every one of us, our main objective is to help our children overcome their learning difficulties and achieve something in life. But having said that, ATL is such a platform that actually the teacher also benefits a lot. I myself have been learning various things over the last 3 to 4 years of our ATL's existence. As a matter of fact, the Arduino board, which is very common to the electronics hobbyists, I actually had not even heard of the Arduino board. But now we are in a position where we do projects using more than 5 to 6 development boards. Our students do projects in different computing languages. So we have come a long way from where we were in initial stages. And then for the teacher, obviously there is a lot of, besides a lot of learning opportunity, there are many avenues that open up. Many people start contacting you regarding how we can help the children. And this way, we also tend to grow in our knowledge and experience. And it was one of the biggest opportunities that came across my life to be to act as one of the mentors, assistant mentors in the AIM Series Student Innovation Program. And being an assistant mentor in to the Indo-Russian teams, it was really challenging, but it was exciting as well. I didn't know that in a period of 14 days, we could build a complete front end and back end of an app, of a web app. And in the theme that we worked was health, fitness, and sports. So I would like to just end with a few lines that we as mentors and guides and teachers, we are not experts, okay? And we don't know everything. We are actually our own subject experts. But then whatever we are doing, whatever efforts that we are putting, it will go a long way to shape the future of our children. And in the process, we also do learn a lot of things. And then I would like to also stress on the fact that many of us may sometimes neglect the AIM emails. I think the most important thing is not to neglect the AIM emails, because those emails are the primary communication that ATL Innovation Mission does with us as ATL in charges. And they are very well explanatory and with all the required support materials. So all we have to do is just go an extra mile with the children, support them and learn along with them, and together together we can give shape to their beautiful ideas. And then just opening the platform for the children, they will be really happy to grab the opportunity. So we are a very, very important bridge in this great initiative of ATL Innovation Mission. I think that is all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Ivan. You said a lot and you said the right things. You said such an important thing that please look at the communication that comes from ATL Innovation Mission. There's a lot of relevant information, opportunities, platforms. There are a lot of interesting new learnings that you can get by leveraging some of those opportunities that we share with schools every now and then, apart from the important ones like the ATL challenges that are launched, or the various important compliance related information that is shared with the schools every now and then. So yes, completely concur, and thank you for advocating that and saying that to the ATL community, that please look at our communications. That's step one. Thank you, Mr. Ivan. With that, I'll move to Ms. Madhvi. Ms. Madhvi, your school has also been amongst the top scoring schools. And in fact, your school is one of the earlier established ATLs. And you've been also featured twice in the Exemplary Teachers of Change handbook. Share with us, and this is an important thing, not just from a recognition standpoint, which you have clearly been a part of, but also from a compliance point of view and from a monitoring point of view. Since you had a good journey of, being one of the earliest ATLs to be established, share with us how important is the ATL dashboard from a compliance monitoring standpoint, and in terms of how you and your school have been able to do that so consistently.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this point of view. And that like the events are said, that this is very much needed platform or very much needed session, because as RTOC, I have seen that schools are basically looking for these type of sessions. So this is a very good opportunity for all the schools across India to have such kind of sessions. So first of all, thank you for giving us the opportunity to share, because we feel that this is, as RTOC, this is also our responsibility, that the schools in our area feel comfortable with the ATL compliances, first of all, so that they don't fear from the ATL, right? Because sometimes what happens that compliances make us step back, because when we don't understand the compliance properly, then we are kind of scared of that. So first of all, thank you for organizing this session, because as sir said, this was very, very much needed session. So thank you so much. With that note, I would say that I am very blessed to have a very visionary and a very progressive management, and backed and a hand-holding by a national awardee principal, that the school can think ahead of times. So I can boast that there are very few schools who could think of a robotics lab. I think 10 years, like 10 years before this time. So we were one of the schools who were running the robotics lab since I think 2009 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a very, very long time. So there, working with such an organization, I have learned that outcome-based approach is very, very important for any program to be successful. So this is what ATL Dashboard is basically doing for all of us. It is basically like we are preparing our children for a global platform, which is very, very competitive, I would say. So for that, preparing our children for that platform, at least within our nation, we need to understand where we stand with respect to each other in terms of input, output, processes, outcome, and the impact we are creating. So the dashboard is a kind of a platform which makes our task much easier. So first of all, I want to convey a very strong message from this platform to my fellow ATL mentors and in charges, then don't be scared of ATL Dashboard. It is such a simple process. We need to understand. When we do that, it comes naturally to us. So I want to say that. And one very important thing, we all are doing great work. All ATL mentors across the country are doing great work under the able guidance and the mentorship of Niti Aayog and under the mentorship of Ramanna sir, I would say. So I'd like to thank sir to be and to be present everywhere. We can see him everywhere despite of his busy schedule. So sir is motivating us, and we all are working hard towards a common goal or a shared vision and a mission of Niti Aayog. We all are partners to your vision, I would say. So we all are working hard. We are working hard in a 360-degree manner, and dashboard gives us a kind of bird's eye view of what we are doing. So this is basically a data-based analytical platform for us to know whether or to ensure that we are putting our efforts in the right direction. And don't bother if we are not putting our efforts in the right direction. The dashboard also gives us the time and the platform to look onto the gap areas and to pick up those gap areas and just take the corrective and the iterative measures timely. I would say that having robotics lab and having that now the ATL tinkering lab, which has given the infrastructure possibilities, which have given more avenues to that kind of expertise or that kind of culture which the school was having. So now students find it much easier. So from those times, we were having the outcome-based approach, and that learning, the Niti Aayog is also giving us the same kind of platform to fill in those. To plan our journey basically. So when we fill the input, when we look at the output, when we look at our processes, or when we look at the impact which we could create at the end of the month, so that is kind of our own progress card. So, and this is a human nature that everyone is scared of that feedback report. So I would say don't get scared of that feedback report. That is a kind of formative assessment, because we are targeting a benchmark. We are trying to reach somewhere. So this is a journey, and here this is a kind of formative preparation for us, and we can always look back to our processes, our inputs, and where we went wrong, what are our strength areas. So this is a wonderful platform to it. But the main point, as Evan sir said, that the first and the foremost step is to fill it, to know it. Right? So when we'll fill it, we'll know it. And when we'll know it, we'll absorb it. And once we have absorbed it, the things are simpler. So that is, and the best part of the dashboard, which I felt, was the minutes of meeting. I felt that these minutes of meeting kind of give me a kind of agenda for my next month's meeting and how I can plan further my events and activities. And this is a kind of comprehensive report which is ready reference for my own monitoring and my own tracking where I am heading towards. So that is the great thing. And again, I would want to share one more thing, that the ATL of the Month challenge, which is the outcome of what we fill in our dashboard report. So that is a kind of rejuvenation for all of us, because every month we look for the ATL of the Month result, so that we get rejuvenated and with more zeal, and it provides us the impetus to reach towards our goal. And I would like to say namaste, sir. Sir have joined. Namaste, sir. So this is a kind of
joining us now. Thank you, Mr. Raman, for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, please go ahead. Please continue.
Yeah, sir. So, sir, to give you a gist, because you joined in, and this is our fortune, or this is our pleasure. So, sir, I was talking about, ma'am asked me that how dashboard filling or the compliance helped me. So I was just briefing her that to all my ATL fellow members, that just fill the ATL dashboard to have a neck of it, so that it get absorbed into you, and then it becomes easier. And that's all I want to say about the dashboard.
Absolutely.
You said some really good things, Ms. Madhavi. First, you said that it's an output, an outcome that you measure for your own self, and you can identify gaps. What a great point to add, that, how do you assess that you're on the right track? You can identify gaps and opportunity areas. And it's a journey, like you rightly said. It is truly a journey. It's how you achieve your milestones every month, and you can really course correct in terms of what you need to do to propagate or to innovate responsibility. So thank you so much, Ms. Madhavi, for adding those points. Just a follow-up point I would like to ask you on this. And you very rightly said that we are partners with AIM, and to get this would not be possible.
I would say we all should be the stakeholders. Yeah, I should say that we all should take the opportunity. We all should take the opportunity to be the stakeholders to uplift the overall innovation quotient of the country. We are very much responsible for that.
Absolutely. So you're not just stakeholders who are helping us drive the agenda in the country, and you are really making that difference. So on that, I would just like to ask you, how do you take time out with the regular responsibilities that you have as a teacher and as an ATL in charge, the responsibilities that come with it, be it guiding students, be it the dashboard, compliance and monitoring, and also you mentioned you're an RTOC. So all these come with their set of responsibilities and time commitments. So how do you manage? That will be a great tip for other teachers, and how do you give them advice in terms of what they can do to be able to manage all this together?
Yeah. Well, having said that, I take this question as like, as a science student, I believe in Einstein's theory of relativity, that is E is equal to mc square. But I have my own perception for that theory. E means efficiency, M says management, and C says collaboration. So efficiency comes from the right management, and the most important fraction of that comes from the collaboration. So as far as time is concerned, if you plan things beforehand, and then you become efficient in whatever you are doing, whatever task you are having. So efficient management comes with the planning, and planning is your responsibility, as well as I would like to say that it is also management's responsibility. Again, I am blessed that the school has a visionary management, so they plan things ahead. So we have a school development plan, which is a comprehensive plan, 3-year school development plan, which integrates the 21st century skills like design thinking, like social emotional learning. These are all the part of our school development plan. So the things become much simpler and much easier for me, because the platform was already there, and I had to only add on to those things. So we add on the ATL, and we integrated the ATL in the school development plan. So we had the ATL development plan for the 3 years. And the result which you are seeing over here, that I am RTOC or I am teacher of change, or my students have consistently winning marathon like other ATOC children are winning. So we have been in the top 150, top 100, and top 200 teams, as well as my student went to Russia just a year before. So, and we are under the patenting process as well. So these all things come when we have a vision, when we have a planning. Beforehand, we have a planning. So we see ourselves somewhere and we work towards that. When we work towards that in a planned manner, so the time is not a constraint. So I would say that this is how it comes very naturally to me. And the second thing comes to collaboration. So when I talk about collaboration, so I feel that collaborating, robust collaboration with all the stakeholders like parents, students, the industry expert, and the most importantly, your own alumni is very, very important, because that is how I get the inevitable mix of diverse skill sets and diverse mindsets, diverse perspectives. And that is the winning, that brings that winning streak, because one person alone cannot do anything. So you should have a team, and I believe that together everyone achieve more. So that is what team is. So we all work together, like the school's principal, management, the principal, headmistresses, coordinators. And this is how we have kind of created an ATL deck for us, so that we all work together. So this is not me, this is the reflection of the entire team that you are seeing over here. So we all need to work together. And I would say students are the base of any system. because they are the one who are going to innovate, who are going to take us to that level. So the first and foremost thing which I realized, that the teacher should think herself as an enabler, not an instructor. So when we build leadership, when we build onus in our student, so let the students lead from the front and you be at the back and enjoy the enjoy the entire journey. So that is a kind of, I felt it so simple and so pretty comfortable to take out time. It's not a big deal for me. So I would
That's
like to say that
excellent.
enjoy whatever you are doing, be passionate enough, because the motivation comes from within. Don't let that passion, don't let that fire die in you. And because that translates into your students as well. Then it becomes very difficult if you do not radiate that kind of passion, if you do not radiate that kind of energy, you cannot allow your students to have that kind of energy. And you cannot expect them, because that would be a sin. We have our own duties and our own things. So what you radiate, that comes back to you.
Excellent, Ms. Madhvi. Very good points there in terms of collaboration, using your entire ecosystem that is available to you, collaborating with them. Very important point on vision. That's a great point to add. Great tip for all other schools, that if you have a vision in mind, you work towards it.
If you allow me, ma'am, I want to add one point over here. See, there are only few schools where the management is supporting, or everybody is supporting, everybody is in sync. But that should not deter us from taking steps. Like, as I said, I am blessed with a very good management, with a very supportive principal and a good infrastructure in the school. But the diversity and the parity is not there. I understand that. So for that, also we can work. How? I would like to mention over here, just when we give output, as a human tendency, हमें कुछ मिलता है तो हम उसके और पढ़ते हैं. So you try to give that output and your management will be with you. So that is one point, that I am blessed. There is no parity in the country, I can understand. There are different type of schools with with the different type of resources, with the different type of capabilities, with the different type of culture altogether. But that should not deter us being the mentor of change, being the exemplary teachers, because when we will take that step forward, people will follow. So please, I would urge.
Yeah, thanks Madhvi ji for, I think very insightful comments and very important comments for all of us. And I think Dipali must have asked several questions to all the others also. Dhananjay ji and Ivan.
Next one is to you, sir.
Yeah, Jamuna.
My next one is for you.
Yeah, okay. I just thought that based on what Ms. Madhvi was saying, some of this whole topic is about ATL dashboards, right? And how do you use this dashboard most effectively? Because we want to make sure that they are helping you in ensuring the objectives of an adult tinkering lab are being met. That is the main purpose. What you cannot measure, you cannot progress on. If you cannot measure something, then you don't know where you are. If, for example, you are running a race and you don't know whether you have completed 100 meters or 200 meters or 300 meters, you don't know how to pace yourself for the rest of the race. So, and you will not be able to complete the race. Similarly, if you are going to some destination, but if you don't know exactly where you are in your destination and you need to reach the destination, you will not know how long it's going to take, whether you'll reach the destination at all, or whether you're on some wrong track, whether you're going in the opposite direction. And it is measurements that is going to help us. And that is why it is so very important. Ivan ji and Dhananjay ji and Jamuna ji, tell us one instance of how the ATL dashboard has helped you to relook at what you're doing and how you can help the students further. How you have used it. One instance from each of you.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah.
जहां तक मेरी बात है कि हम लोग जब पहले काम करते थे, तब ये नहीं देखते थे कि कौन से स्टूडेंट आ रहे हैं, कौन से स्टूडेंट नहीं आ रहे हैं। और उस डैशबोर्ड में जब हमको रिफ्लेक्ट किया कि हाँ अदर स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स नहीं आ रहे हैं, तब हमने उसे अप्रोच करना शुरू किया। आज हमारे लैब में अभी भी डीएवी स्कूल के बच्चे, आधारशिला स्कूल के बच्चे बैठे हुए हैं। ये हमने डैशबोर्ड को ध्यान में रखा और इस पर एफर्ट किया और आज हमारे पास रिजल्ट सामने है।
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, क्योंकि ये एक एक बड़ी पर्पस है अटल टिंकरिंग लैब की कि वी शुड बी एबल टू यूज इट फॉर ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स, नॉट ओनली फ्रॉम आवर स्कूल बट फ्रॉम अदर स्कूल्स ऑल्सो। ये एक इम्पोर्टेंट लक्ष्य है इसका। और जब इस डैशबोर्ड से हमें पता चलता है कि वी हैव नॉट इन्वॉल्वड एनीबडी एल्स, देन वी कैन अप्रोच द मैनेजमेंट एंड वी कैन से कि वी हैव गॉट द बेनिफिट ऑफ एन अटल टिंकरिंग लैब, और इस अटल टिंकरिंग लैब को हम कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं फॉर अदर स्टूडेंट्स, फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ दोज हु डोंट हैव एन अटल टिंकरिंग लैब। एंड दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट काउंट।
इंस्टेंस और बात करता हूँ, ये अटल टिंकरिंग लैब है सर, एक मार्वलस प्लेटफॉर्म है, उसके बारे में कोई कल्पना नहीं किया, लेकिन एक हमारे शहर में घुमंतु बच्चे हैं जो घूमते हैं, बेगिंग करते हैं, हम ऐसे बच्चों को भी कनेक्ट किए हैं और ये अटल टिंकरिंग लैब ही दिया है, उन बच्चों को खाना खिलाए, उनको कनेक्ट किए, और उनमें से कुछ बच्चे जो घूमते हैं, बेगिंग करते हैं, वो भी बच्चे हमारे लैब में आ रहे हैं।
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा, रियली वर्थवाइल स्टोरी फॉर। आप एक इसके ऊपर एक आर्टिकल लिखिए और हम पब्लिश करेंगे कुछ हमारे ब्लॉग में या न्यूज़लेटर में।
थैंक यू सर।
Ivan ji, can you?
I can send you the photographs of it.
Please do that. Please do that. This is, this is what this platform is enabling us to share such stories and be able to inspire other people, and this is something which is very important. Ivan ji, what about you? Is there any instance, an example that you can give that how the dashboard has helped you to be able to get better outcomes?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, sir, for joining us. I was slightly disappointed that today we don't have you, but then now
no, I was caught up in another work which I could not leave, and it just got over, and so I thought I was hoping also that this session is not yet over, so so I joined.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, so I will say one positive and one negative. And when I say negative, and I reiterated it before also, that negative result is also a result. So one thing in ATL dashboard is the band, the school band in the region, in the national level, and in the state level. So we always look for the results in that top band. And so when we get A in all three, so that motivates all of us to work harder and to maintain it. And at any point of time, if there is a B, then that is an indicator that we should buck up and tighten our belts further. That is one thing. And the other thing is, we have not been able to get a patent so far. So every time we are filling the dashboard, we have to put a 0 in the patent. So that is a check for us every time that this is the area that we need to work further. And so that drives us further towards achieving at least a number in that column. So that way ATL, the dashboard always guides us towards what areas we can be motivated from and what areas will help us to make a checklist of what we need to achieve yet. So I think it is a great platform, and I encourage all the teachers to fill it regularly.
Excellent. Thank you, Ivanji, for sharing that. And yes, indeed, it is only when we start off on an initiative, there are many things related to that initiative that we want to achieve. And then when you see that some of them are being achieved, but some of them are not being achieved, and that is what leads to continuous improvement, because now you will change your strategy for how you will be operating the ATL. How are you going to encourage a higher order of innovation? Maybe students should know that, this is already out there. Can you think of something new? Something new which is your own original thinking and your own creativity, which is and blossoming it into action. And I think once you start telling students and they also get challenged by it, then they'll be doing some very innovative thinking, and they'll come up with something that is patentable and so on. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, Jamuna ji, what about an experience that you are able to relate to all of us?
Good evening, sir. It's a pleasure this evening. Really, I'm proud to say that we have been selected as AT of the month since August 2019, and it gives me a great motivation, and also our students that in Puducherry, actually our only school selected, and Navodaya has been selected. And this gives motivator to move more to to innovation session. Actually, we have been seeking for mentors. This is the lacking where we are involving in the academic session, actually, taking classes, and I have appointed instructor and keep them, and I could be able to achieve that doing more projects and seeing this ATL dashboard. Initially, we find it somewhat difficult, and after the initial procedure is over, we could find it easy to in maintaining the session monthly. Actually, we will be involving the sessions. We have taken the ATL sessions to the regular school curriculum, and we are involving the students and make attendance of the students and involving their doing projects and recording it in a record. And doing this, we could be able to record this in the dashboard monthly, and this made us more motivated and won the ATL of the month every month. Actually, this is a success behind it, and we look forward to have a mentor through online classes, because in Pondicherry we were searching for mentors and we could not be able to. I was searching near the colleges also. We could not able to get a mentor to have a session, and we are lacking in giving knowledge. That is our taking classes for our students. They are lacking in Raspberry coding and Arduino coding. If we got an opportunity to get all these lines, definitely we could achieve in the coming years. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. No, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I don't know whether I think we are running out of time, Dipali.
We are, but we would like to hear your thoughts, closing thoughts, sir, before we close the session on dashboard.
Yeah. Thanks, Dipali. And first of all, I want to once again thank Madhavi ji, Dhananjay, Ivan, and Jamuna for spending their valuable time and their personal time on this very important webinar session. Why we thought about conducting this session is for multiple reasons. We all want our students to become very innovative. We want them to become problem solvers. We want them to become the future job creators of our country. We want to improve their lives, their families, the society where they are living in, and in the larger context, when they achieve all of this, they are able to impact society and the world at large. Now, this is something that we need to somehow make it happen at an early age, because this is the culture of innovation doesn't happen just by itself. You have to cultivate that culture. And I am very, very happy that ATL Tinkering Labs is providing that platform for building this culture of innovation in schools. Otherwise, the only thing that was deciding the students' fate was the marks that they were getting in their exam. And they were being judged only by that. But today, you have the opportunity to blossom a number of other attributes that a child or a student has. Their creativity, their communication capability, their leadership capability, their ability to empathize with the user community. They visit a village, they visit a hospital, they look at things, and everyone realizes that they have something to contribute in this entire process. And I think that is what is bringing out from these ATLs. So it is not just innovation capability, but a whole range of new qualities that are so essential in the holistic development of every student, of every child, and as they blossom into becoming an adult. So that is what the ATL Tinkering Labs are enabling. But we also want to make sure that you are able to maximize the outcomes of this. And how do we maximize? To maximize it, you have to measure it. You have to measure whatever you are, what is the inputs you are giving into the system, and then the respective outputs that are coming out of the system, and whether they are aligned with the potential that the school has. If the school has 600 students or 400 students or 1,000 students who are between grade 6 to grade 12, my expectation is that at least every one of them has had an exposure to the ATL Tinkering Lab, and they are getting involved in some projects, at least 2 or 3 projects during the course of the year, every student, which is breeding that degree of innovation. And they don't need to be doing it all by themselves. So that is the beauty of it. See, when you are giving a homework to a child, the child has to do the homework all by itself. But when you give a group homework, you will find suddenly that 4 children get together and the output is enormous. They're very excited. They like to talk, and it's a group activity. And group activity is always done in an atmosphere of fun. There will be some laughter. There will be some, arguments. There will be debates. It will be lively, and they will enjoy it. Similarly, the Atal Tinkering Lab, we want to encourage that you maximize the number of innovation projects that you are executing. It doesn't matter whether it is a great innovation project or a small innovation project. Small ones lead to great ones. Brick by brick, a house is built. And so, but measuring that so many students are participating, so many innovation projects are getting created, so many knowledge sharing sessions are being conducted, so many mentor sessions have been conducted, so many innovation projects have been completed, and so many students are participating in an Atal Tinkering Marathon, and so many students from other schools are participating. This all will help you as an ATL in charge, the principal, to say that yes, my ATL is actually being utilized very well. And the outcomes of this, the outputs of this are something that we are very proud of, because that is setting the seeds. All of these are sowing the seeds. They are not the ultimate. Finally, the student will become a great innovator. That is going to happen 10 years later down the road, or maybe 15 years down the road when he starts working. And then, but all of this, when you sow the seeds, then they will all blossom at the right time. And then out will come a great innovator, a great new job creator, a new startup company, and so on. So I urge everyone, all the people who are listening to this, please take your ATL dashboards very seriously. We want to associate ATL dashboards with a way of, we want your inputs. Can you add this input? Can you monitor this also? And if you have any questions whatsoever on how to interpret a particular field, ask us. Sometimes you may interpret it wrongly. And this is not a scorecard for you to be judged on. This is a scorecard for you to act on. It is for you to act on this own thing. It's not for us to judge you. Oh, you're not doing well, you're doing well, etc. That we want to inspire people. So when we select an ATL School of the Month, we are inspiring others that, here is an example and you can learn from that. But it is not a judgment on your school. But it's very important for you to be able to use it for yourself, analyze the data. And as Ivanji said, or as Dhananjay said, when you look at it and say, oh, I have never involved anyone from other schools, so I should do something on this. So you have taken one step forward in the utilization and in the maximization of its value. So I'm sure every one of you would have also benefited from the sharing of experiences. Madhavi's experience is fantastic, which she was recounting and I was hearing. Similarly, Dhananjay's and Ivan in the short brief time, and Jamuna ji, she has consistently, her school has been scoring ATL of the Month recognitions. So these are great examples, and I hope it gets multiplied several times by several orders across the ATL family. We are now a big family. We have more than 7,138 Atal Tinkering Labs operational as of today. Close to, my estimate is about 3 to 3.5 million students must be getting exposed. Whether they are actually using it or not will get reflected through your dashboards. And we'd like to see some evidence that they are being utilized, because then we will also feel good that these investments that the government is doing, no other government across any other part of the world is doing this. There is no Atal Tinkering Labs or similar labs being set up by the government in any other country. So we are sort of pioneers, and many countries are looking upon us as models of how you are driving innovation at the educational system in India. And so every one of you is very lucky to have one, and we are very lucky to have you as part of this, making this happen. So thank you so much, and all the very best to everybody. And I am sure we'll continue our sessions in the months ahead and the weeks ahead. But in the meantime, have a great weekend and all the very best. And I think we have National Science Day on Sunday. Is that, yeah, I think on 28th is National Science Day. So here's to scientific talent, STEM students prospering and making an impact on India and on the rest of the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in for the session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
These
sir.
boys are cheering all of you, sir. These boys which are working for the marathon are cheering for all of you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Good evening.
You will see, this time we have pledged that we are bringing in very small villages from UP to the marathon. We are working towards we are working with the village, T3 village, and we are trying to bring that village to the marathon level. So
Excellent.
thanks to you, sir, for giving us this opportunity. And with that, we could be able to of some use to the country and to bring that innovation in our country. And we could beat, like Toycathon is there, we could beat the countries which are leading in front of us. So we would reach there soon.
Yeah, today I spoke on toys and games, and there was a Rajya Sabha interview, I think, reset. So I had some comments on that, so you can listen to it. Maybe sometime it will be shown on TV.
Yes, sir, that would be a great learning. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.